So, guys, good evening. Welcome back to my channel again. I'm Tassos. As you can see, the only arcade that's lit on right now is Mortal Kombat, the arcade one-up cabinet of Mortal Kombat. Uh, as you can already tell by the title, I just came back from watching Mortal Kombat 2, the movie, and well, let's let's get down to business. Well, this one was definitely worth watching. It was definitely worth a watch. The last one, I'm sad to say that there's like big chunks of it that are forgettable. Um, but then again, there are parts that kind of given you that could give you hope that if there was a sequel, which was hinted at the end, that it would be probably worth checking out. Probably. I mean, there were chunks in the movie that were redeeming values, like everything involving Scorpion and Bihan. Wow, it got me sold. Like it had this really good start, really strong start, and then you move on with Bihan, like the original Sub Zero. It almost felt like part horror movie, part mystery. I don't know. It was worth it. Like the early parts at least. And then it got to a big part where I didn't actually care for characters that didn't even make sense for me not to care. Like Liu Kang. Liu Kang in the previous movie, Mambo Jumbo. He just is shown, thrown in there into the fray, and absolutely no character development whatsoever. And there's a big chunk that they're just moving in the desert that I didn't actually care. And then we will move on to this movie. And let me tell you whatever problems there were in the previous one, you can get those and toss them out. Sorry about my moves here. Like I have a kind of like a short shoulder from having had a rough sleep last night. But anyways, you can just take every problems of the previous movie, just throw them out the window. Those are gone. Those are absolutely gone. The movie gets straight to the point, which it might be something that people might hate. Some people might hate, but people that had already watched the previous movie to this one, they'd rather have this fast-paced movie that actually does more things right than wrong, get more things right than wrong, than have another one like the first one, like exactly like the first one. So without trying to talk about too many spoilers, because we will have those as well, I'll tell you this, that this movie was really gory. It was gorier than the previous one. And it actually took some ballsy decisions. I'll tell you that. And Carl Urban is a really good Johnny Cage. Now, there were some people that kind of doubted if Carl Urban was the right man to cast, for this role. And dude, why not? Like seriously, even the problem that people were talking about before this movie even became a thing, where when we heard about them casting Carl Urban, like their main issue was like his age, like he's old. Like, come on, it's like he was the perfect guy, even his age, as far as I go, because everyone takes for granted that Johnny Cage is this youthful character. Well, I don't remember his exact age, but I think in the first Mortal Kombat he's supposed to be above 30. He's not some 25-year-old. He's already like close to being a middle-aged man. Like I don't remember the exact age, but he's above 30, already married and divorced. Like, so people that do like source material taken into account when having movies like that, there you go. You can open up like the first manual. I picked like the wrong copy. Like this is not the first Mortal Kombat, obviously, because we're talking about Mortal Kombat 2. Um, that says his exact age, and his exact age is above 30. I don't remember. Like I don't want to say like it probably says something in between 32 to 34, but he's already like married and divorced, and his real name is John Carlton actually, which doesn't even sound as cool as Johnny Cage. So yeah, whatever. Carl Urban is a really good Johnny Cage. I wouldn't try to drag it more and say things because I feel like excited after watching this, obviously. Um, we have returning faces. We have more exploration of the actual lore of Mortal Kombat, and I'm glad to say that they didn't really change much. There are some subtle changes here and there that you might recognize if you played like the second game. It's not the exact things that take part, like all of them that take part in this specific game. But yeah, like even those small liberties that were taken don't really take much away from this being the actual Mortal Kombat 2. So the plot is what you would expect, I guess. Yeah. And I like the vibe and the setting of the movie. It feels like taking settings and stages and colors. I don't even know how else to say it. Imagine like having a mixture of Deadly Alliance and Deception. Like it's kind of dark, has that kind of architecture. I kind of liked it actually. We do get lots of Easter eggs in this one, which I will be talking like in the part of the spoilers. And again, the pace is really nice. You don't really get to be bored at all. You came in to say to watch a movie called Mortal Kombat 2, and this is exactly what you get. It's gory, has fatalities. Wow, I absolutely loved it. Again, you have some faces from the first movie. You have some returning characters. Really great job well done. So now we're going to be moving to the spoilers, the plot of the movie, and here is where I'll start to analyze what I liked specifically in the movie. Little things that kind of annoyed me, maybe, even though I'm too excited right now to even talk in a negative way about this movie. First of all, the movie starts off with the lore around Edenia and around the time where Shao Kahn actually won the last tournament versus Edenia and enslaved Edenia. So, yeah, sorry about saying Edenia like a million times, but we basically see the fight between him and King Jared. And wow, this guy Martin, like oh my god, why do I forget like the whole name? He makes an amazing Shao Kahn. You will absolutely hate him, and that automatically means job well done. He's exactly like I would imagine him to be, and in fact, he is exactly like Mortal Kombat 9, which is like a reimagining of Mortal Kombat 2. If we take into account what's happening like in MK universe, you actually see this guy, and he's a massive, unstoppable force. And King Jared does put up a great fight, but he loses his life, and obviously, Outworld wins. Shindel is taken, as wife, and Kitana as Shao Kahn's daughter. And the beginning was so emotional. I was like, holy shit, they really start strong with this one. So I get emotionally really attached to Kitana at this point. So that plays an immense role for the rest of the movie. And then we move on to the characters we already know from the previous movie, from the ones the Earth Warriors that did survive, and we also get to see, and this kind of reminded me of the first Mortal Kombat movie in 1995, where the first time you see Johnny Cage, Lyndon Ashby Also amazing Johnny Cage, but I think Carl Urban is on par with this guy. He is that good. So we do get to see this tongue in cheek like action movie, like oh it's showtime, and Johnny Cage is shown into this through this VHS filter, kicking ass and doing like the splits above a rocket that was thrown from a rocket launcher. Like whoa, crazy stuff. Like the stuff we would actually watch as kids in the early '90s and late '80s. And then they show in like a Comic Con or whatever that is. Like they show this bored, middle-aged, wore down Johnny Cage sitting on his bench, like waiting for someone to come in, ask for a photo, for an autograph or whatever. And it hit the spot for me because it's like this is exactly how I imagined they would pull off a Carl Urban Johnny Cage, like this guy that's like just hit the bottom of the barrel. He's been in action here like back in the day, like a famous actor, but past his heyday, past his prime. This is exactly how I imagined they would actually pull it off. And then we have like Sonya and I think it was Sonya. It was definitely Raiden along the that came along, and that they approach him while he's getting his stuff and tries to put it back in his car to just leave the Comic Con, the convention that he was in, whatever that was, and I flipped, I lost my mind when he actually sees Raiden and the way he's dressed, and he throws this line about what you were dressing up as these characters from Little Trouble to Big Trouble to Little China, something like that. Like and you remember the movie with Kurt Russell, and that hit me hard because Raiden was supposed to be inspired by one of these characters that harnessed thunder from that specific movie. In fact, many people thought that characters from that movie were, straight inspiration to the first Mortal Kombat. So that goes full circle. And me being the middle-aged man I am, like watching Johnny Cage talking shit and saying that line, like I lost my mind. The humor, the whatever humor there is there, it's not like they don't try to make this a comedy, but whatever humor is there, it's like spot on. For me, at least, it was spot on. So they tried to convince him to follow. Raiden pulls off his light work, like with shoots lightning through his fingers, and like Johnny Cage is like, oh, what the? Follows them into Raiden's Sky Temple. And this is the part where I actually felt for Johnny Cage more than ever. And I was like, about every other character in the room, I think only Jax doesn't speak that much shit. Like maybe he doesn't take it like, but it's like almost as if, especially Cole Young, is like as if they're attacking him verbally, like for almost, they don't really curse at him or anything like that, but Johnny Cage actually brings up a really valid point. Like Raiden and Sonya bring him in, and the first thing he sees is Liu Kang fighting Cole Young using their full powers, and Jax with his robotic freaking arms. And it's like, then they just announce him that this is Mortal Kombat. We're gonna fight to save Earthrealm. And Johnny Cage is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like these guys, like this guy throws fireballs through his fingers. Oh, shut up, Scorpion. This is actually your, it's very relatable. So yeah, but Johnny Cage is like, what the frick are you talking about? Like this guy shoots lightning from his fingers. That guy shoots fireballs. This other guy has like an armor that makes him stronger and shit. I have nothing. And you're basically telling me that we're entering like a fight that, fights to the death tournament? What kind of bullshit is that? Of course I don't want to enter. And Cole Young especially starts off like talking smack about how I left my daughter and my woman behind and this and that. Dude, You had to go through extensive training, and you were actually, if I recall correctly, you were the last guy to actually get a fucking power. The last freaking guy. So why are you supposed to be telling me right now? Why are you talking smack to Johnny Cage like that? Like, at this point, I'm freaking pissed. I think, Liu Kang is kind of, right in the middle, but still, I think like his stance is like, oh, come on, you should feel for this guy more. Like, you know exactly what he's standing at this point. It's like a reserve for Kung Lao that died. And so Johnny Cage just decides to just, flee, go back. And this is the part I found hilarious, among other things in the movie. There's like actually another chunk of the movie that I think was hilarious, and I'll explain. We'll get to that. We see Johnny Cage in a bar drinking down some whiskey or whatever that is, and even a fan like recognizes him, and Johnny Cage actually has already like been having a bad day and goes off at him. And then he goes like, Ed, just give me another shot. And the barman is like, oh, you seem to be a little down today. And I'm like, what the fuck? I just see the angle of the face of the barman. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, Ed, just fill me up. Give me another round. And the bartender is freaking Ed Boon. Wow, I lost my mind. And by the time Ed Boon, fills up a new booze, a new, glass for Johnny Cage just disappears because it's his turn to fight in the tournament. So either he likes it or either not. I don't really know why they let him go from the Sky Temple, since he was going to fight anyways. And thankfully, his first fight is freaking Kitana that hates Shao Kahn's guts. So he kicks Johnny's ass. She kicks Johnny's ass, but she doesn't kill him. And that's all nice and good. Sonya fights Sindel in a fight that I thought it was a little bit too claustrophobic, actually. I didn't know what to think about it, but it was gory as shit and really intense. Yeah, I'll give it that. But I think instead of just fighting in such a closed up area, even though they possibly tried to emulate like the bottom of the pit, I think they could have done something different with that one. Sindel is already shown like to be a revenant at that point, so she's already dead and brought back to life by Quan Chi. Quan Chi is in this movie. Holy shit. And he looks creepy as fuck. So we see that fight. Sonya absolutely obliterates Sindel. Sonya is actually shown to be really helpful, really strong, and she really knows what she's doing. Superb guts. I think she's a really good Sonya. Sorry for getting the name of the actress. Sonya wins. Johnny Cage loses, but he doesn't lose his life, so it's all good. And then we have the second set of fights, which is actually very emotional. And this is what I think they've done, and they absolutely nailed in this movie that the first one was lacking. And that was like character development, but in a weird, not weird at all, but in a non-conventional way, at least for me. So what happens basically is that Quan Chi has been bringing some characters back to life, and he's enslaving them under Shao Kahn. I think that's what he's doing. So he's bringing back two fighters. One of them is Kano. And that was a grade A move, because you know what? I freaking loved Kano in the first movie. I think it was one of the redeeming factors on that movie. And he's also just as good, or even if not even better, in this one. And Quan Chi actually brings him back, and he doesn't enslave him, in the favor of Shao Kahn, because in his words, he barely even has a soul, and he's not even worth it. He's not worth the time. But that would be their own undoing. So Kano is being brought back, and Kung Lao, but in the favor of the bad guys. And Sang Sung, which, oh my god, I think this guy makes a perfect Sang Sung, by the way. Like, he's disgusting. He's like a freaking snake. I don't even know how else to say it. And they create this plot. Well, they attack with Kung Lao. They slice Raiden's throat. And by using the amulet, Shinnok's amulet, the actual Shinnok's amulet, they drain most of his life force. So basically, Raiden is like left down there without his force to regenerate or to close the wound, to slowly die. And what do they do with that shit? They take the amulet back to Shao Kahn and they give it to him. Oh god, and they make him immortal. And this is where everything starts going down the drain for the good guys for a bit. Um, Raiden is barely alive. Shao Kahn is immortal. And the next set of fights, we get Jax versus Jade, which is a fight that it was fun, but I kind of knew exactly where this was going to, so I didn't care that much. It didn't have that sense of urgency anyway. And then you have Cole Young versus Shao Kahn, which is in the Deadpool, great setting. And that what happens to Cole Young there is probably the best thing that could happen to Cole Young, because I didn't care one bit in the previous movie about this guy. His only redeeming factor for me in the first movie, it was that he's in the same bloodline as Scorpion. Nothing else. But he's brutally murdered by Shao Kahn. And the way this is being done in the movie, they actually made me like Cole Young through his death. Because Cole Young actually feels as if he could have won if it wasn't for Shao Kahn's immortality. Like, it feels so unfair. Like, you can see the shock in Cole Young's eyes. Like, what the? Like, the wounds that he's inflicting to Shao Kahn is like, you're starting to root for him, and immediately you realize, oh, that's not going to end well. Because imagine is as if Frieza actually managed to make her wish for immortality. So he just smashes his head with the mullet. And I'm like, fuck. They just offed one of the main characters like that. And that comes as a big shock, as a really big shock for me. And I immediately started liking Cole Young through his death. So take a note of that, because this is exactly what the movie does best. They bring character development for the characters through their fights. And why I'm saying that? It's not just Cole Young. It's also Liu Kang. Like, his fight with the Revenant Kung Lao is a pretty darn emotional fight. You can see sheer emotion through Liu Kang's face, on Liu Kang's face. And the more the fight goes on, you feel for him. It's like he doesn't want to kill Kung Lao. He doesn't want to fight him. He wants to bring him back to the light. And he's forced to kill him. And even the way that he does it, it's as if he tries also to take a hit for his fallen brother. I can't even describe the scene. It was a really powerful scene for me. And it really brought up Liu Kang's character in my eyes, like, more than a couple of notches. Way more than that. Liu Kang, again, is the badass character that he's supposed to be in this movie. After this fight, you're rooting for Liu Kang. He's badass. And you want to see him succeed. Like, wow. So, we go through that. Liu Kang wins. Cole Young is dead, and the bad guys have the amulet, and the amulet is in the hands of Bi-Han, the resurrected through Quan Chi original Sub-Zero. So the good guys' last chance is, the group of people that are left, like Liu Kang, Jax, Sonya, and Johnny Cage. They have to traverse through Outworld through this underground caverns, like caves. Like there's this underground secret passage that only Tarkatans know. And oh my god, this is where we actually see the tribe of Baraka and Baraka himself. Baraka is so badass, a very irritable person, very ugly, ferocious, and the one that actually kicks him down more than a few notches and makes his miraculous comeback and starts believing in himself is freaking Johnny Cage. And I absolutely loved the fight between Johnny Cage and Baraka. Baraka becomes bros with Johnny Cage. He actually accepts him as his sensei. It's freaking ridiculous. It's hilarious. But you must see that fight. But for me, this is like the taking off of Johnny Cage. Baraka helps them up to one point to reach like the passage, the secret passage, so that they can try and get the amulet. But before they even manage to do that, the amulet is on the hands of, like I said, is given to Bi-Han. Bi-Han travels to the Netherrealm. So what's left to do? There's only Johnny Cage left. Jax dies. Good lord. And it's like Johnny Cage is captured by the bad guys, but he's saved by Kano. And they go to the Netherrealm, and this is where the badassery continues, because they enter initially a very beautiful place, like a beautiful garden, and guess who we see here? It's Hanzo Hazashi, Scorpion. Like, not in his ninja attire. He's just gardening. He's peaceful. It's the great man Sanada. Like, again, I forget the first name or the second. So, wow. Long story short, Johnny Cage says that they're actually looking for Bi-Han. Scorpion loses it because obviously all the beautiful garden that they're seeing, it's an illusion. It's a manipulation from Hanzo himself, from Scorpion. He's so powerful that he actually bends hell around him and makes his dreams like a reality. So instead of that garden, the moment he flips, the moment he hears the name Bi-Han, everything goes in flames like Silent Hill shit. And he's immediately gets the attire of Scorpion. And he's like, immediately gets this badass, angry face, like, I'm Hanzo Hazashi of the Shiraiu. Oh my god. Like, I immediately get goosebumps because Scorpion is our man. I always will be. And they go in there to find Noob Saibot. And this is a phenomenal fight. Like, Noob Saibot does all this crazy shit. He splits like in two because he has like a shadow and stuff. Obviously, the Netherrealm was like this kind of labyrinth that most of it like are platforms that underneath is like lava. So it's really hard to grab on Noob Saibot. Like, he turns into a shadow, gets into the ground, and appears somewhere else. And for the most part, everyone is needed. Kano is needed. Johnny Cage is needed. And initially, the only one who does put up a really decent fight and knows exactly what he's doing, which is actually expected, is Scorpion. Scorpion has no issue even dealing with both Noob Saibot, both him and his shadow, but they have a specific purpose there to actually get the amulet. Long story short, Jade appears to help. They do get the amulet. and Johnny Cage does get his powers. And that is very important because at the moment they destroy the amulet, at the same point in Outworld, there is the final fight. And the final fight, and this is what I was really hyped about, is not Shao Kahn versus Liu Kang. It is not versus Sonya, of course, uh, but it is versus Kitana. It's like the perfect build-up because the first thing you see is the death of King Jared. Liu Kang dies a very badass death, to be honest, if you can even call that death. I don't know how else to describe it. To an immortal Shao Kahn. And Johnny Cage, with the company, they break the amulet. So Shao Kahn is immortal no more. And Kitana proceeds to beat the absolutely living daylights out of him. And it feels so satisfying when she actually finishes him off. And the good guys win. That's like a recap with full spoilers, like the little things that I didn't like. It's like maybe I didn't care that much about the fight with Sonya versus Sindel. I think the setting was kind of weird, kind of claustrophobic, kind of too claustrophobic. I didn't care too much about that. But most of the fights were really interesting, especially the fight of Kang Lao versus Liu Kang. So emotional. Of course, the fight in the Netherrealm where they try to take down Noob Saibot. We do get the true get over here, which is Ed Boon himself. Wow. What a movie. Did I like it? I loved it. How good was it? It was at least 5 times better than the previous one. The previous one was again kind of uneven. It had some redeeming values. I think they took that and they took the redeeming values and upped it up more than a notch. I absolutely loved Kano returning into this one. Like every line he says, I want to laugh, and like it's not even his lines. It's like his whole presence. He's funny, funny in a really how do I say it? He's weird, he's snob, he's confident, he's slimy. It's all of those. I don't even know how else to say it. He's great. Kano is awesome. I didn't even know I would like Kano all that much. He was also really good in the first one, but in this one, he cracked me up again. And of course, like, again, the movie gets so many things right. Make some ballsy moves by offing some of the main characters, but it's also established that they'll try in a potential sequel to bring those characters back because they're shown to actually hold captive Quan Chi. I don't know what that will lead to. It could probably lead to the resurrection of Shinnok, bringing him out of the Netherrealm. I don't know. I mean, how else can you get like a sequel? Also, a Deadly Alliance has been hinted. You can see both Shang Tsung and Quan Chi in some frames there in the movie. So I don't know. This has so much potential. The movie was great. I absolutely hated Shao Kahn. I absolutely loved Kitana, and she was actually worth the W. She was actually the one that I was vouching for to be the one that kicked Shao Kahn's ass. And yeah, because the movie starts that way. It's a very specific way that the movie starts. Anyway, 100% totally worth it. So I'll close up with my final thoughts. I know it was kind of late to the party. Going into the movies was really nice and kind of sad at the same time, kind of melancholic because uh, the cinema where I went in, I reside in a small town really, but I didn't expect to be that empty. It's like me and two other people. So it kind of felt weird in the beginning, but I got immersed into the movie so freaking fast that I didn't actually care after a couple of moments. And to be honest, the movie was too good for me to hate the idea of being in an empty cinema. I've been in full cinemas before that we had too many annoying kids around talking too much bullshit, and I would actually prefer this setting where I was right now, other than having annoying kids around me. I don't know. It might just be me. It was absolutely worth it. I don't know in which cinemas it's still on. Of course, I'll place the timing for the spoilers, where the spoilers start, so that people know and not watch it. I absolutely loved it. Is it like the best video game movie ever made, like in terms of live adaptation? Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah. It's probably this one is probably better than the first one. Was the first one was really good. The first one was the template. Um, I mean, the one from '95. Okay, let's make ourselves clear. It was the template for quite a while of how you make a live adaptation of a video game into a movie, and they even had a, I think, a PG-13 rating, and it was still good. So hell yeah, that was super nice. I absolutely loved it. Like, yeah, it had characters that really stood out for me. I freaking loved Kitana. I loved Kano. The movie redeemed Liu Kang in my eyes because he felt almost non-interesting in the first one. Yeah, come on. Scorpion comes back. Johnny Cage is freaking awesome. It's exactly what I was expecting. I loved this movie. Like, maybe just maybe, I don't know about Raiden, actually. I don't know how to feel about Raiden. He's just there, I guess. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Again, if you get the chance, if there's still like a cinema, like having it on still, like, go ahead and watch it. If you like Mortal Kombat, you'll be surprised to see that this is not a bad movie. I don't know what people have been talking about all this time, because I've also heard like negative things. I only saw mostly like 95%, like, is good. It's good. It's more, I'll just say good because I'm super excited right now. So again, thanks for watching. Have a good one.